Now, Cabinet has approved the submission of a bill that seeks to separate domestic and foreign intelligence services, which currently operate under the State Security Agency. This is in line with the recommendations of a high-level review panel on the SSA, chaired by Sydney Mufamadi, President Cyril Ramaphosa's national security advisor, at least at the time. The panel was submitted, the report was submitted by the panel, back in 2018. The bill has received mixed reaction, though, from civil society. Let's unpack this further with Willem Els. He's with the Institute for Security Studies and joins us via our video link this Friday morning. Willem, always great to have you on the program. Thanks for making time to speak to us about this. And I wonder if we can start by just taking a few steps back. I mean, this bill, that is, was brought forward in line with the recommendations by that panel, as I just mentioned. But what's the thinking behind separating foreign and domestic intelligence?
Good morning to you. Yeah, as you rightly mentioned, it goes a while back. We must just remember that before the state capture and the tremendous mess that the security agencies of South Africa was dumped in with the state capture and what followed after that, it used to be two agencies. We used to have the NIA, the National Intelligence Agency, and we used to have the Secret Service that focused on external matters. And that was work. It was a working model. It worked very well for South Africa. And then during this state capture process, it was decided to merge the two and to form the State Security Agency. And we also see that brought a lot of complications. It also facilitated state capture, and it also started to impede a lot on oversight from the local or the national relevant authorities. So that is basically the background of what is happening here, and we see that there's been a lot of pressure on the minister. Another thing is that the National Intelligence Agency, or SSA, was then moved under the presidency in order to promote further oversight. And then what happened was the minister was given the task to actually overhaul and to bring this act that we are sitting with today. What we're seeing is that there was a lot of delays, there's a lot of infighting, a lot of discussions, and also a lot of maneuvering behind the scenes that actually led to a delay of more than 6 months. And now it seems that they want to rush and push through this legislation in a matter of 3 months.
Yeah, and that's going to be difficult because there are some who are concerned that if they do that, there's just no way of having adequate amounts of consultation, which then means that there's a very high chance that the law itself might be challenged in court later on.
Of course. Remember, Section 59 of the Constitution, it guarantees public participation. And so I can foresee that there will be many stakeholders that will actually challenge this in court. It's going to be a very long process, and that's one of the challenges. Another challenge that we have is we see that from the Select Committee and from the Oversight Committee in Parliament, they are trying to veil this whole thing in secrecy. They want to exclude a lot. They want to classify a lot of the meetings. And also what we see they proposed is that they only reach out to certain provinces in terms of consultation and not to all the presidents. And they say for the interest of time. And I foresee that is going to be challenged in court anyway. We see that even COSATU, that is an ally of the ruling party, it referred to this legislation as a shocking attempt to abuse the constitutional rights and the Bill of Rights of the people. So there's a lot of criticism already, even before it went out for comment, and even from within the party itself.
Yeah, it almost feels like it lost before it even started. You mentioned there this feeling of secrecy around some of the discussions. The concerns that have been raised, though, by the committee is that they might have to meet in secret in the event that intelligence agencies need to share classified information. Does that sound like a good enough reason for you for some of this to happen behind closed doors?
I don't think so. We saw how that clause has been abused in past when, for instance, when the police wanted to conceal the misappropriation of the secret fund, and it even ended up in court, where court instructed them to declassify some of those files. So the problem that we have here, and the whole challenge that I foresee with this legislation is who will guard the guardians. What will be the oversight? Are we not going to open ourselves to massive abuse by the powers that be, and everything will then be hidden behind this veil of secrecy because now it's a state secret?
Whether it's this panel report by Sydney Mufamadi, the panel report by Sandy Africa looking into the July riots 2021, or the State Capital Commission of Inquiry, there's this golden thread that runs through all these different investigations, if you like, around just how battered our intelligence is in this country and the high cost that we have to pay for that. Given the concerns you've raised and the very real hurdles that lie ahead still, one wonders how quickly we'll be able to solve this, given what's at stake.
Yeah, as you just mentioned, it is a golden thread. And, when the state capture happened, this was one of the first targets. And this department was targeted the heaviest of all. And your challenge that you have with that is, it was abused for personal use by the powers that be at that stage at the cost of the country. We lost tremendous lot of our capacity that is needed in order to safeguard the country. And then the 2018 July uprising was just one of the striking examples of the failure of our intelligence. And your challenge that you have here now is that, it's like a pendulum that was to one end, it was severely abused, it was severely neglected, and now that pendulum, they want to swing it all the way to the other end. And that opens us up to abuse from the powers to be, as I mentioned, the oversight, and especially public oversight also is lacking when we look at this legislation that is coming through. It is necessary. It is there to bring back or to rectify the challenges of the past. But will it really address that? We will have to wait and see. Another challenge that we see is, you also mentioned that we foresee that this legislation will go up to the highest court by being challenged by various parties, because it's got far-reaching implications for a whole lot of people, and there's not a lot of clarity within the legislation on how it will be done. There's not a lot of clarity on to what extent and what the powers really will be and how intrusive it can really be. Another thing that we also mentioned in the legislation that is lacking, and that is should this organization be vetted, how are they? Will they be able to appeal, or will it be final? What are the processes? All of those things, it seems, that has not been discussed. It's not been an open discussion for public comment. So we foresee that will be heavily debated in court. Yeah,
among the other things being debated is whether or not it's the right thing to have the intelligence agencies to be able to vet non-profit organizations and religious groups. Civil society organizations have pushed back against this. But I wonder what your take on that is, because we do know that certain crimes in this country are carried out ostensibly through religious organizations and NGOs.
Yeah, with everything there's a balance, and we have to strike that balance. Myself, I work for an NGO, so we need to be transparent. There need to be some measures in place in order to govern, because, just an example, if you look back at the 1998 bombings of Nairobi and Dar es Salaam, the money was channeled towards Nairobi by two NGOs that have been established for that purpose. So NGOs are there for they've got a good purpose, but they are also open for abuse, and we have to find a way to mitigate that. But the problem that we have, once again here, Are you going to use now a 4-pound hammer, or are you going to use a 10-pound hammer? How will the abuse be? What will be the checks and balances? And also what I said, what will be fine? Will they have to challenge it in court? May these organizations then challenge it in court once there's a verdict that exclude them, for instance? We don't know. It's not clear in the Act.
Sure. A lot to think about. Willem Els, thanks for helping us connect the dots, at least from your vantage point. Appreciate your insights on the AM report today. Willem Els is with the Institute for Security Studies. Once again, thanks very much indeed.